All right. So to start with, would you mind telling the launch control community a little bit more about yourself, who you are, what you do?
The business or us as individuals?
Well, it's up to you. I would make it a little bit of both.
Yeah. So Offer PA is a primarily focuses on fixing and flipping. Our purpose is to enrich lives, and like we believe in enriching the lives of everybody that we work with, whether it's the sellers that we meet with, or the contractors, or the employees that are part of the business. We both have our real estate license with the Keller Williams of Central PA team. A lot of our marketing that goes out, primarily like 1 out of every 10 people are interested in the speed and convenience of an all cash offer. Most of them do want to, if they are in the market to sell, they want to sell retail. So we push some leads over to the retail team. The retail team pushes some leads over to us. It's a really good symbiotic relationship. But we're a small team. We look to do probably 12 to 20 transactions this year. We're really focused on fine tuning our processes so that we can continue to grow at the right pace. We've been in business for 2 years. We've been profitable both years, and we just want to keep growing that profitability. But yeah, I've been in real estate since, did it very part-time, 2015 to 2020. 2020, I left my full-time job. Actually, 2021, left my full-time job to run Offer PA. And I have a 50-50 partner who owns these brokerages. Karen was well, I'll let Karen speak for herself, but she was part of the brokerage as a transaction coordinator for a lot of years before coming on board to Offer PA in November. So Karen, you can talk about yourself.
Yeah, I've been in real estate kind of since about 2009. I was in new construction for 8 years. Then I got my license and joined the Dave Hook team. Dave Hook is Phil's 50-50 partner. I was a transaction coordinator there for 4 years and moved over to Offer PA this November, like you said.
Yeah.
You mentioned 2021. Wow, it must have been taken a lot of courage. It was when all of this with COVID started, actually 1 year into that.
Yeah.
So
that's 2020 was my full-time job. I had a corporate full-time job and I traveled a lot. And then when COVID hit, it allowed me to focus a little bit more time on real estate. And we just did a couple flips in 2020, even though I was working, I had a full-time job. My responsibilities were like this much with the full-time job because we were stuck at home. So it allowed me to focus on real estate a little bit. We did a couple flips that put enough money into the account that would pay my salary for 6 months, and we felt confident enough we were going to be able to keep things rolling after that 6 months. So in February of 2021, that's when, I officially quit my full-time job to do this full-time. So
awesome. A silver lining when all
COVID
of that
helped a little bit.
Well, I would be lying if I said I weren't happy to hear something like that.
Yeah.
COVID helped someone. Well, good.
Yeah.
So what led you to launch control? How did you end up working with us?
So I tried texting a long time ago, back when it was just me with Lead Sherpa, and I thought it was cool, but then back then there was really a lot of issues with deliverability rates, and the carriers started really getting involved, and deliverability rates dropped, and I just didn't see the benefit. I was always a cold caller using Mojo cold calling, and then we bought a mentorship program with REI Game Changers, James Hodges. And they were initially recommending Smarter Contact. That was kind of like their main platform because there was a limit on what launch control could send out per day. So they were sort of referring Smarter Contact. And we signed up with Smarter Contact last winter. And I think we did it for about 6 months, but again, it was very, the system, it was very buggy. And ultimately we stopped doing it. And again, I went back to focusing on cold calling. And this summer, our Be Wealthy, we're part of a mastermind, and a lot of the people in Be Wealthy are using launch control and highly recommended it. And we wanted to, when we started planning our goals for this year, 2023, we decided that just the contact rate with texting and the amount of people that you can reach out to, it was almost like a mandatory marketing channel that we wanted to implement and get really good at and go deep in. I think before we just sort of scratched the surface a little bit, but then when it wasn't producing results, we abandoned it. Now we wanted to really go deep in one marketing method, and launch control. I tell Karen, I mean, like the first few weeks, I was like, Karen, this system's really good. And then I would say like a day later, Karen, have I told you how cool this system is? Like, I really like the functionality of launch control. So, and I still say it like every now and then, because I just think it works. It's so far beyond smarter contact. I mean, so far beyond. They've called and wanted to get me back at like half off, and I'm like, it's not worth it. So to have a system that runs as smoothly as launch control, it's great. It's great. My only concern with launch control is the amount of leads that you need to keep plugging into the system. But again, we paid for training, and the guy that we were training was like, what's great about launch control is the drip campaigns and the follow-up campaigns. You actually won't need as many leads as you think because of those follow-up campaigns. So I know some people didn't like the fact that you have to wait 30 days. I love it. I think it's like, that doesn't bother me at all. And I find that the follow-up campaigns, even though the response rate is going to be 5 to 10% lower, I still feel like I'm glad that there's leads that in our system that we can send out to. And we're going to squeeze that lemon as much as possible and utilize that list as much as possible, squeezing out any possible leads that are in there. So anyway, I just really like the system. It's great.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm happy that you mentioned following up, because actually over 80% of the deals in launch control come from follow-up campaigns and drips. So
Nice.
all kinds of following up. So it's really
Yeah.
a crucial part of
Yeah.
using launch control. What about your follow-up efforts? Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
The what?
Your follow-up efforts, yours and Karen's so far.
Yeah. So again, anybody that is like, right now, we're sort of pretty lenient with who we're pushing over to our CRM, because we're trying to add as many people to that CRM right now, and it goes into kind of a funnel system. So anybody that does say like, yes, we're interested, we try to get them on the phone as soon as possible. We want to get
As you
them on
should.
the phone, and that's why they get pushed over to the CRM a little bit early, and then they go up with a follow-up campaign within our CRM. As far as the follow-up campaign within the system, Karen's doing a great job of taking follow-up campaigns and creating batches so that we can keep up with those. And then drip campaigns, if they're, well, I don't know if you probably saw it, but it's drip one. Like as soon as they say no, not interested, and they don't respond, we let it go 24 hours. We ask the go for no question. If they don't respond within 24 hours, the next day, that's when we put them on drip one. If they respond, and as long as they don't say, something derogatory, or they don't say, please stop, they're going to go on drip 2, drip 3, long-term drip. They're going to keep going on a drip campaign until they say, stop contacting me.
And again, the way it should be, definitely. I mean, I'm really glad to hear that you're so dedicated to it. You're so devoted to creating some results for yourself with launch control. And it seems to me that it's had some really nice impact on your business so far.
Yeah, most definitely. In fact, let's see. I don't have my leads or my deals yet up. I can tell you, most of my appointments come from Where's our business tracker? Trying to see what we have so far this year. All right, so Parker was last year. 233 F Street was direct mail. All right, so 418 Ace Downwood, that was cold calling. Randy Manning, that was a texting lead. And that's a property we're closing on in March. I thought we had 2 deals so far this year from texting. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So anyway, I think we'll get half the deals that we want to get this year from texting. So.
All right. So any deals so far? I mean, I was about to ask you to just, walk us through a recent deal that you had through texting. I think it would be more than
Yeah,
interesting to hear more and learn more about it.
So Randy Manning. Yep. So Randy Manning was a guy on, So he was an inherited data list. And he was somebody that is a property that we have under contract. We're going to be closing on the 23rd of this month. But it was a simple text. Hey, Randy, are you available to discuss options for 120 North Street? That was our opening message. And his reply was, not now, perhaps later today. Oh, great. Okay, great. We just need to know a little bit more about the property. How's the overall condition, or what would be a good time for her to call us? And then that's when he was like, I'm available at 3:30. Call if you'd like. Called him, set the appointment, went out. Actually got that one signed at the appointment. And that was I think that was our first texting lead that we got.
Oh, awesome. Sounds great so far. Well, keep that up, and I hope that after today's meeting, the numbers are going to go even higher up. So before we wrap it up, do you maybe have any either launch control or maybe general investment hacks that you would like to share with the community?
Launch control, or I think this is just a bit of advice to go deep in one marketing channel before you go shotgun spread trying different things. I think a lot of people, especially when they're first starting out, they do a little bit of texting, they do a little bit of cold calling, they do a little bit of direct mail, they get in the weeds about SEO. They like go all over, and they might be a one-man show, and they just get information overload. And it's really, I think, beneficial to pick one that fits your personality the best. Do it for 3 to 6 months until you build up a pipeline from that one lead source. So go really deep in that one lead source before you start venturing off and trying other marketing channels. And that's probably the biggest bit of advice I can give.
Thank you so much.
And then stay consistent with it, because consistency is everything. Like, make sure you're setting the schedule to, like, every day Karen and I come in, we do a positive focus with the brokerage at 8:30. We usually do kind of like a huddle at 8:45, and then at 9:00 we're clicking our mouse button. We're sending out batches, and that way we send out all of our. We each want to. If I don't have appointments, we're each sending about. We want to send 1,000 a day, and that way we send them all out in the beginning. That way we can respond to people as they respond throughout the day. So.
Yes, definitely. I mean, you have a plan and you're consistent, so I'm sure that I'm positive that the results are going to be even better in the future. But it's good that you're actually conscious about what you're doing and what you need to do in order to maintain the results. Karen, what about you? Any words of wisdom from you?
I'm still learning, so I kind of rely on Phil's words of wisdom.
Well,
not a lot from me just yet. Ditto.
Just yet. All right. I guess I'll talk to you next time about all of this.
Next time, yeah.
It really is consistency and follow up. I mean, if you're just like we pushed over, I guess if you go to the dashboard so far this year, we've I see all time. No, I don't know if there's a way to see all the leads that we pushed over, but it's making sure that there's a consistent follow-up schedule with all those leads. Anybody that's a nurture, you just keep nurturing them. They'll come around eventually. I just closed on a property. I got one under contract that was somebody that I've been following up for over 600 days. I mean, it's been almost 2 years, and because of the regular conversations, they were like, I assure you, you're going to be our first contact. And they were trying to get their tenants to buy it, but their tenants never brought their credit score up. And he was like 75 years old. He's like, listen, I need to sell this. And they called me in between my task to follow up with them. They were true to their word, and they called me and were like, they're moving out. Can you come look at it? And so it really is about the follow up and consistency of doing those daily actions. And if you just set your prospecting time in the morning, then it's guaranteed it's going to get done every day. So if you're prospect, 80% of your time should be spent prospecting, and 20% should be everything else. So
definitely. I mean, I always say the platform's going to do its job. The question is whether you will do yours. So
yeah.
From what I see, you guys are doing an amazing job, and just keep that up. I really don't know what else to say. You're doing this wonderfully. And
Thanks,
before I let you go, I just want to thank you once again for taking the time to jump on a call. It was really amazing talking with you, exchanging ideas as well. And I can't wait to see the further results with all of this implemented.
Thanks, Jay. Appreciate your time. And yeah, you guys, your team's always very quick to respond anytime we do have a question. So kudos to everybody on Launch Control. You're doing an amazing job.
Doing our best. Thank you so much for saying that.
Yep.
All righty then. Enjoy the rest of the day, of the week, actually.
You too.
Good luck, and talk to you next time with some higher numbers.
Sounds good. We'll see you.
See you later.
Bye-bye.